fit in with the things that they were doing, then it turned out good. But I had no firm set of values or firm identity in myself that would tell me, no, you don't do that. That's not you. That's not your values, your beliefs. But I didn't have that, so I just was like, I think 1 James says, don't be a person that is like blown around by the wind like a wave.
That's what just came into my mind now.
Yeah, that's what happens when you don't have that firm sense of identity.
When you said this last sentence, it just came into my mind because when you're talking about you try to fit into the crowd, all I was just thinking about was unstable. And it's my opinion. I don't know if it's actually correct, but I feel like when a person is really unstable as to who they really are, it kind of affects everything around them. It destroys everything. It just makes bad everything around them, from having friendship to relationship to money, spending money, having money, work, and so even keeping families. I think it's kind of, but what would be your advice? What would be, when I mean your advice, I mean, what would be your experiential advice as to how can somebody be able, especially a female, how can a female be able to come out of this unstable lifestyle and be a person of themselves? What do you think? What do you think be the experiential advice?
I mean, I 100% think it comes from an identity in God.
Okay.
Because obviously, if I believe God is the truth, Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life, then He is the foundation for identity. He is the foundation for life. He is the foundation for all things. Then I think identity first and foremost needs to come from a biblical standpoint, from what God says about a person, what God says about a girl, who she is. And from that's where they can branch into other areas of their identity, of what are their interests, what are they most passionate about, and what are the giftings and the callings that they feel God has put onto their life. But I think at the core it needs to be a biblical foundation of identity, and that's for all people as well, not just girls, but I think it comes from that. I think another big major part of building an identity in a young person and in a girl is what their parents instill in them. I feel a lot of people get their identity from their parents at an early age. If parents are instilling a biblical sense of identity, that's going to set them up for life.
That's true.
But they go into their school where their school is, who knows what they're being told at school. Who knows what friends are saying about them at school. But if their parents have instilled a strong sense of identity and purpose in them, they go into that and they're unshakable. But when parents don't do that, when you have absent parents, when you have uncaring parents, or worst of all, parents who speak death into their life, speak words that bring them down, then their identity is unstable, but I'd even say sometimes broken. They walk in with a broken identity. And that's when they do just get blown around by the wind, where people, they walk in with a broken identity, someone adds to that, bringing more death, speaking more death over them, and they go down even lower. They become even more broken. And so, I think so that's what's most important, I'd say.
You one highlight I would make from what you said is family. The help of family for positive growth of identity. And I think many young people, especially either male or female, especially the young ones, and even the older ones as well. I think the older ones as well. I think they need to go back to understanding family. Because it's been like there's been a hate in family by the younger generation, and so that has hindered them from even understanding who they really are. I won't exclude the place of parents who are also unstable, and so the child looks at the parents and they're learning,
Exactly.
and they're learning, and then they grow out of the family, then go on in life being unstable. That is what happens. But there are some families that are very good families. The parents are honorable people. I would put this as honorable people in the society. When I mean honorable, I mean that they try to be honest. They try to be respectful. But you find that the children do not pick up that nature. Rather, they hate that family in which they are born into and they come from, and that will hinder them from. So I'm really excited that you mentioned family as a big part of understanding identity. As a female, family is very, very important in understanding identity. If we go forward and let's say we look at loyalty, do you think that when a person understands who they really are, they would have a grasp of concept like loyalty?
Yeah. I think this is where family comes in as well.
Okay.
Because I think belonging and love are so important in identity. It all ties together.
Yeah.
Like, you find your identity and your sense of security in where you are, where you feel you belong and where you feel loved.
Yeah.
And so when that belonging and love then leads to a loyalty.
Yeah.
You know, if you feel loved by something, you're going to be loyal to it.
Yeah.
To become reciprocated. And I think that there is a natural sense to being loyal where you are loved and where you belong.
Okay.
And where you find your identity. I think there's a natural sense there. But there also is an instilling of, discipline in a way. An instilling of, I guess, the value of loyalty, the value of being a loyal person, a faithful person, in that you don't just go wherever you feel wherever the wind takes you. You are committed to a purpose, you're committed to a cause. Yeah. When you see the importance of something like a family or a church or even a sports club, when you see like the importance and the purpose in it in a way, then you are committed to it and you're committed to being a part of it and making it better. And I think that's where loyalty comes in.
Okay. You talked about where you feel loved or where you feel accepted. You become loyal to that space. But then when you feel accepted in that space and then you're being corrected for something you did that is not accepted in that space, why do people then vanish?
I think that it depends how they view discipline.
Okay.
Like God said in the Bible, God says, so I forgot the wording.
That's fine.
Like chastisement, God chastises us because He's our Father.
Okay.
He disciplines us because He loves us.
Yeah.
Like a father disciplines their son. And I think if this also comes from how they have been brought up, I suppose. Sometimes people are brought up with punishment and discipline being a completely negative thing, not done from a place of love. But if your understanding of discipline and punishment is the biblical way that God describes it, being out of a place of love, out of a place of fatherhood, out of a place of correcting so that you can be brought back into a place of righteousness.
Yeah.